again, I appreciate you all taking the time out today and those who were able to restructure how we're doing this meeting on today. As I told y'all at the beginning of the year, we're going to kind of be moving around to different places. I want to thank, who was the one here last week? I mean, last month. First time. Oh, we had the budget. Yeah, we had the budget meeting last month at Pasadena in the evening. So for those who don't know, we do one the second Tuesday of the month, 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock, and then also our fourth Tuesday of the month is in the evening time, 6 to 8 for our stakeholders who may can't make it to this one, but they can get with us in the afternoon. I know we're planning our upcoming tour of the Raleigh District 6 area. We're going to have a bus tour, about 65 people or so. We're going to have go around District 6, look at the assets and things we're going to do. That's going to be around June when we do this particular meeting. I want us to see what's coming and what's about to come to our district. That we're working on a number of projects right now. Myself, Councilwoman Logan is leading the work, y'all know, at the farmers market and the food truck bar that's getting ready to come at the Austin Peay Station, but also some housing development pieces that we've been working on. I'm excited that we were able to get some things in the budget that's going to allow one of our major housing project initiatives to move forward right next to Bethel Life Church on 114 acres that's right there. So it's a mixed-use housing development that's be happening there. So some great things are happening. We're looking to really move that initiative forward. I was talking with, and I got to meet this young man here with Office of Planning and Development. What's your name?
Grayson
Vincent, Brother Vincent here, that I met with his director and some other the team just a week or so ago. How many of y'all know about Memphis 3.0? Y'all heard of Memphis 3.0? Yeah, so I'm thankful that they do now got him in the community, that people talk. I'm getting those calls because things are changing. Y'all heard the mayor talk about his housing initiative to build 10,000 houses over the next 4 years. Things don't have to change to be able to do that, because as he talked about, we build up and not out, is that in communities like Crazy, y'all know that my family, we got plenty of property in hand laying out there. You can put 2 or 3 houses on some of those lots. And so we're really looking at what that can look like with changing the zoning from residential 1 to residential 2. And this is some stuff I didn't learn, but I'm doing it, right? Now, when you put some of these houses together on that property, one, it could be a great opportunity for these families there to make more money as well, to be able to sell that property. And just thinking about even some of the commercial corridors and anchors of our community. I know it's been, and Councilwoman Logan been really fighting hard as some businesses wanted to come in on the corridor down here on Austin Peay, where the hotel, the bad hotel sitting right here to the side and that corner, and James, but she's been fighting against some commercials that want to come in like a car dealership, some other things, so that we can keep those key corridors to our community to build anchors for our community as we continue to grow out here. So I'm excited about all of those things that are happening. Y'all know that election is coming up. Early voting start tomorrow, right? Yeah, tomorrow. So make sure that y'all get out to vote. The beautiful thing y'all have in this district that y'all only gonna have one name on the ballot. That's great. Y'all push that name down. And so I'm thankful to y'all that you all as a district have that confidence in me, that people said, why we gonna run against somebody that's already doing the work. But I did say, man, if somebody would have ran against me, I would have been their best campaign manager, because they can have the drunk, right? But I love the work that I do. I love the opportunity to serve you all, because we are seeing gains. This district is one of the most progressive and growing districts out here. I know I was talking to some of my housing people, because we've been having these meetings, and my man here probably tell you something the same, that wow, I'm going to be pushing, even in this budget, to change some things. Is that you can try to build a brand new 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house in Frazier, and you're gonna spend, it costs about $150,000 or so, some of my contractors that are going to know the price, to build that house. Well, in Frazier, you basically can't sell that house for that $150,000. But if you build that same house right here in Raleigh, that house gonna go about $250,000 or more, right? So even when Habitat for Humanity is getting ready up here in Bowling Hughes, they're looking at building some houses up there, because it gives more equity to that family starting off, right? And I got my man with Rise Memphis who helped with some of that down payment money, so that can happen. So again, I'm gonna have some of our people come up here in a minute. Let us pray. Father God, we just thank you for this day. We thank you for your grace and mercy. We thank you for leading, guiding, and directing our path. We thank you for the AC Wharton Youth and Family Resource Center, Director Amy, and the staff here for allowing us to come into that space today. And we just pray that this meeting is productive for all the stakeholders here in District 6 and those who are from our surrounding communities to come see what the Lord is doing in our community. Amen. Amen. And I want to say this too, and I asked for some grace to a lot of my people in the previous meeting when it comes to Frazier, because for many times I've been writing just Raleigh, Nutbush, and unincorporated Shelby County on a lot of my stuff. But I have parts of Frazier, thanks to Maria, who helped me really see it right, and then kept me out of the car. When I was in a restaurant one day, and a stakeholder came in and said, "Man, you my commissioner. I ain't mad at you. You don't ever say Frazier, but you're always fighting for it." He said, "You're one of the biggest fighters for us." And so I knew, like, again, one of my biggest fights for the budget, and I was excited a couple of weeks ago to go tour the new Frazier High School that they're building it. It'll be done in May of next year, open for school in the fall. Is that many of our children here at Raleigh, Egypt, and different schools here, they live in Frazier. But the quality of schools wasn't the best there. I'm not saying they're the best here, we got to do more there, but that's where we talk about really making real future investments, y'all. I want us to be really clear, y'all, as we get ready to go into this budget season, how important are the investment now. Some people say, "Charlie, we can wait before we bring more investment into the budget." Well, watch this here. AI ain't waiting on us. People losing their jobs like crazy. And so I didn't really know what was happening when the guy from general manager from Amazon took me on a tour on the backside of Amazon, and all of these automation and robots and things were doing what the people up the front was doing. And he said, we get 60% more production back here than we do up there. And the big bosses, they looking at this across the country. I just got word and heard from some of my federal lobbies that they're hearing that Amazon over the world is going to decrease 600,000 jobs because they're going to automate. So we think we got 5 years for it to happen. No. But while we sitting here, machines are figuring out how to make them more money, bang for their buck, by taking us out of the equation. So if we go into this budget with an AI center, data center sitting right here in our backyard, and think that we're not going to invest towards the future, our children and our future is in trouble, and shame on us, right? And I just say it this way, as we probably get ready to do it now, they said this way somewhere I read, that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. No, my watch statement, I know this coming. I mean, we just left a conference in D.C. that we heard even more information than I heard 3 years ago. And y'all know I came back talking about some of these. And I was able to bring back an app that I got out of that conference that gave me, while I sit there in my public safety ad hoc meetings, the summary, executive summary, transcript, everything that just happened, and I was able to send it to commissioners within hours after my meeting, when it was taking me a month to get it from my minutes clerk. Are y'all hear me? So management, our job that may not be lost is a colonel of the police department. They're going to give up robots out there. And she will have to run the robot. She may be the only one in here to say, I'm seeing it already. But somebody said something. I did a training last Monday for about 80 family engagement teachers with quarter-leaf schools that we're going to ACEs and trauma. And one of the directors said, she said, Commissioner Caswell, but let our teachers know they're going to be all right because machines can't show the empathy that we can show. I said, they say teaching them already. Most of these kids already fell in love. They'll rather talk to a digital device than some of these teachers. Y'all know it. This Z generation, y'all, I'm praying, y'all, that we're in trouble. Because if you look at it, we was already barely come on. But our generation, well, millennials and who was there before? Millennials and X, we kind of came up on the dot-com boom, right? We invented a lot of this stuff. They didn't have to invent nothing. Watch this here. Even the coding classes they taken. I'm having this conversation with one of my coding people now. They don't even have to code no more. You just tell it, and the app is built. Oh, y'all just wait. Me and my son working on one for wraparound District 6. Y'all gonna look. And we were finna spend $400,000 with the county to do the same thing, and it ain't cost nothing but $100. I'm talking about the same thing and then something. It's gonna blow y'all away. Off an app. So I should have told y'all. I'm not going to charge y'all for the right? But this is, I'm spending your time on myself. I want you to learn this because this is where it's going. And we were just arguing in the budget, thank God we didn't spend it, that $400,000 of taxpayer money on something that could have been done like this, right? So all those things that are happening, we just want to continue to be focused and know that we want to grow our economy. Again, let's give a hand to our director, Ms. Amy, here, for allowing us in this space. I know they still got things going on with the client coming in, so we ain't gonna stay all day here. So before we get started, we're gonna get started with some of our announcements real quick. I know Raj got an announcement. I'm gonna let the money talk first.
And thank you, Commissioner Caswell, for creating great spaces for community voices today. I'm Malcolm Ross, Executive Director of Rise Mentors. We are a nonprofit built around financial empowerment for working families in Shelby County. One of our programs is Save Up. It's a match savings program where participants save as little as $25 a month, and Rise matches every dollar 2 to 1, tripling their savings so they can purchase a home, start a business, or invest in their education. Over 900 families have graduated from that program and together built $9 million in assets right here in Memphis. This is Financial Literacy Month, and we're bringing the same energy to the community through our free event, Community Wealth Day, themed coins, confidence, and conversations. On Thursday, April 30th, noon to 4 at the Raleigh Library on Austin Peay. Expert sessions, free lunch prizes, and real tools people can use the very next day. If you're interested in attending, registration is free at risementors.org. I would love to partner with everyone here to help spread the word about what we're doing and the opportunities that exist within Rise. Thank you again for the time.
So what day you said?
April 30th, whatever for.
Until, make sure we got, so we can put that in the newsletter, so we can get that out to the people. So are y'all still doing the program where you do the 3,000 match?
That's the Save Up program.
Save Up program.
So you save as little as $25 a month, but the stakeholders save as little as $25 a month on that program. But you save $1,000, which is we triple it and give you $3,000 towards buying a home, purchasing a car, and my favorite is starting a business. Over 54 entrepreneurs have been able to jumpstart their businesses with this seed money and Rise. $3,000 that brings a lot of people in, but it's not instantly. 6 months to 2 years to save up that money, because we're changing mindsets, we're changing your relationship with money. So building this savings mindset takes time, and we're seeing it through with those stakeholders.
Is that for Shelby County residents only?
Yes. Shelby County residents.
Because usually y'all keep that zip code based kind of.
No, we still have, we still have greater zip codes are focused on, and the South City zip codes are focused on.
Yeah.
But due to the funding increase, we extended it to everybody that's applied to Shelby County.
And we were able to put, I think, almost 600,000 towards this, and so support that work. So the county have made investments, so you can be able to be more. Yes, sir. Bless you, man. Everybody at the day, you got something going on? Good. Project, y'all have anything? So I say this, I'm gonna make this announcement because even in last year's budget, though, y'all know it was a 12-1 vote that I did not support that budget because they did not see what was coming. Hopefully this year that changed, and I've been teaching about a lot of that, meeting with the superintendent of school, meeting with Mayor Young, meeting with Mayor Harris. I went over and met with TCAP the other day, the president of TCAP, how we help individuals that's coming out of the jail get right into some of these CDL licenses, forklift license and others, that we were able to still come out of District 6 with $1 million, an extra $1 million investment. One of those initiatives that we're going to be funding and supporting is what the Volnex is doing with University CDC. Y'all know they've been doing an after-school program. They got the Exodus Hub up there. But they're going to start an AI lab here in the Fraser area. Y'all know where their facility is right here on Wiley Militant, right up the street here. That lab is going to allow them to work intentionally this year with 60 young people and 40 young adults and adults to start their own businesses, teaching them the basic AI all the way up to launching their business. So when you talk about Rise, that was some of the money and we make that partnership. And one of the other partners they're going to be working with this is Dr. Nicole Gates with Golden Keys that do entrepreneurship. She's going to be helping us with the structure of their business. This everything from them having ebooks to digital courses. Like we are tapping into something that's going to be on the cutting edge of families in our communities being able to make those investments. So again, I appreciate y'all taking the leadership and willing to take that vision. And we, on Friday night, me and Pastor was at almost past midnight. Pastor was sharing that with the men at night at light. And those men are totally on board and want to be able to get there. Some of them having past records. One of them was like, man, how can I get this done? And I got to. But this don't occur if you got a record. This right here, if you got a ebook or whatever, makes you money without you, whatever your background, right? But you got to be trained with those skill sets, so they are allowing us to have those skill sets and training there. So y'all got some.
I want to add to that. So this is so real that my heart has ran out for that, for this AI thing. We went to the news station last week, and the news station 2430 have decreased their staff by like 40% because of AI. So in one office they had 7, they only have 2. Another office they had 3, they only got 1. And I was like, why? She was like, AI is doing all the work that we no longer need bodies to do. So this is something that we really need to hold on to and really get started with.
So I know Senator Bernie Sanders is trying to say to Congress, let's slow this down.
Yeah.
But guess what? He's too late. Period. When you see it on TV, it's gone. You got the president has executive orders out of this. I was at another conference where Governor Bill, lead policy person, they on the gas. So anything we try to do down here will actually become a federal. You just violated federal law. You going to jail. So y'all on this seat to fight that. Take the charge. Because I'm not going to take a charge for something that is already left the train. We should have been having this conversation back when. So we got to be really intentional looking at what's happening when they talk about the state takeover. Watch this here. They're going to be glad to give us all those books that have been in the warehouse back there at Collierville High School. Because they won't say, read now, or we're going to be on AI. When I walked in Collierville School in 2022 to take the tour right before we really pushed on this Frank High School, for that principal to tell me, then the principal with it, he said, they can have computers for 10 years.
Yeah.
Our kids just got a computer during the pandemic.
And ebooks.
And ebooks. They was already gone ahead of the game. So we can't let, so now it's like, we can't let them be on the same playing field. Okay. So a lot happened. Colonel, I know you got something to announce. How you gonna keep us out of jail with all this going on? We need you as our don't wait until AI gonna help us. Go ahead, Colonel. You got anything?
No, I just one announcement is this Saturday, starting at 9 o'clock, we have an autism walk right here in front of the station, and we would like to see all of you there.
Yeah.
What's the starting spot? Is it front of your station?
Yeah, at the station.
So they're gonna walk around.
It's just a walk around, yeah, you may walk around 2 times, you can do it.
Yeah. And so, and that's another great initiative, the focal point that the sort of for that young lady, I can't think of her name.
Yeah, I can't think of her name.
Yes, I'm
Thank you.
So I looked at
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Dr. Angela Marks from Internal Division. We are a nonprofit organization. We collaborate with students at Grapevine Middle School. This is our 5th year. We work with students on professional skills, financial literacy. We would love to have you to support some of our students in school with that endeavor for sure. Saturday, April the 25th, we have a community spring fling that will be held at the Dwelling Place, Pastor Leon's Church, from 11 to 3. This year, we are very, very heavy on community partners. We will have vendors there selling items as well. However, this year we have a lot of community partners that have signed up that said, yes, we will be willing to work with you all. Again, we work with students on professional skills. We talk to them about employability, what you should wear, what you should not wear, things you should say, keeping your record clean, not hanging with the wrong people, those types of things. So some of the organizations that we have this year, of course, is police department, fire department, youth villages, foster care. We will have neighborhood safety and engagement, Friends for All, Light at Night, of course. in Raleigh. I didn't know that they had opened it, and I was here, I drove by, went in, talked to them, they were like, yes, sure, we will definitely come out. Also, Shelby County Board of Commissioners, they signed up, so we have about 50 vendors now. We met a man at the Impact Church, man with a horse, I'm trying to, man with a horse at home, y'all. He's busy and couldn't come, but he got us next year. So we have a great deal of vendors this year, and we'll love to have you come out and support from 11 to 3 at the Dwelling Place Church on all Austin Key Highway.
What day was this?
Saturday, April 25th, next Saturday.
You got room, 4 benches?
I do. Yes.
So that's it. That's gonna be a busy day, because I know yours started at 11.
Okay, the dock does start at 1, but we're at 11, y'all. Still come on down, before the first, and we'll find out.
Pastor Ellis, you have anything? Affirm. Yes. All right. Any other announcements? By the first.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Mike Arnold, and I work for the organization known as Families Matter Affirmed. And so you have a flyer on your desk there, or your table. One of the things for us, we're a fatherhood program that emphasis on families, and especially fathers. And one of the challenges for many fathers is employment, like a lot of people. And so we quarterly, or now every other month, have an opportunity to have a community resource fair for fathers, specifically those who have challenges with the court system. But the good news is that this job fair is next Thursday. It is down the road in Fraser at Ed Rice Community Center, and it's going to be from 10 to 1 p.m. The good news is that it is open to everyone. Although we're looking at a specific event for fathers, this is available for everyone. So please share this with your network. Networks, we have tremendous organizations that will be there, not only for jobs, but also for other community resources as well, particularly those who may have some challenges with their background, justice involved. We'll have people there to help with that, along with educational and vocational opportunities as well. And so if you would, if you know someone, just have them to sign in by scanning that QR code. It helps us to get a count. And we have people that are being signed up or hired on the spot. So we'll have people there that will hire on the spot. Again, our last one, right around the corner at Jubilee, Church of God in Christ, and we have a really good spot for members as well. So we want to encourage you to be a part of that. And again, our goal is to be able to bless other people, particularly as it relates to job skills, job opportunities as well. So one last thing that we want to add, we've been in Fraser and have a great relationship. In Fraser, and now we have opportunity. Drum roll, please. Drum roll. We are now expanding to Raleigh, and so now we'll be at Dwelling Place and San Luis.
Now you have seen the light.
I've seen the light. Well, I live in Raleigh, grew up in Fraser. But we're excited about the opportunity as well. So there's an opportunity to have a footprint here as well. So we want to continue to partner with you. If you haven't, our information is here. Please connect with me, because again, we're doing this together. So,
in your office is going to be at the Dwelling Place.
Correct, yes, sir, correct.
And so those who have not yet, I know we took an initial tour of the Dwelling Place but they're going to give it a bigger ribbon cutting thing around there, what's happening at the Dwelling Place. But man, I took a tour the other night just to see all those organizations and people, their footprints that's inside of that building. It's a game changer. So I'm glad to have you affirmed there. And I see this up here is with Sin Relief that's there. But Brother Mike, I want to say one thing, two things. One, I really need to incorporate y'all in too. So how many of y'all know about May the 22nd? What's going to happen May? I know it's my birthday. I know that's something to celebrate today. It's still Memphis' birthday, right? So May 22nd, we're going to have the Memphis Hope Fest downtown. When I tell you, it's like, man, blowing up. We're going to have a job fair, expungement clinic, health fair. Man, and folks are signing up. We got probably 70, 80 plus nonprofit. We want to make sure that you all are there at the table. Y'all get a booth. Nonprofits is $25. That's for your table and 2 chairs to be down there. We got vendors. I think business is $100. And food trucks $150. $25.
50.
$150, but man, they're signing up. I'm working diligently with the Memphis Police Department, Sheriff Department, and the National Guard to make sure that we're gonna have the security that we need. But the beautiful thing about this, our partnership with the city of Memphis, the M4 program, is that we're gonna have all 3,000 of the youth who's gonna be working this summer. For the summer, it's actually gonna help facilitate this. They're helping drive the narrative that young people can make investments in downtown and in their community that has an impact on the whole city, right? So we're using this initiative to be intentional about what that looks like. For those who don't know about the work we've been doing with the Hope Center work, it's been this year we had decided as a steering committee to make youth and young adults our focus for this year. How we measure them. I appreciate Pastor Leon being on that board and committee. The Brownexes are trained as Hope Navigators in that committee as well. I know your husband, did you go through it too? The Reverend went through it. The Reverend went through it. You were there. They went through that Hope Navigation, but powerful. And again, it's around making Memphis a Hope Center city. I'm getting ready to bring a policy resolution, a joint resolution with the city council forward. On how we are intentional about how we work within government, work within communities, businesses, schools, to make that an intentional act. And I'm just saying real quick what that looks like. It's about focusing on goals, right, with individuals and companies and policies and what we, but then what is that pathway to that goal? Then what are the barriers to that pathway? And then as Hope Navigators, how do we help them overcome those barriers, right? When we start seeing people reaching their goals, more hope is built up in our city and our community, we can change some of that narrative. This summit, this festival is just one piece of it. The big conference is going to happen in November at the Renaissance Center, where we're going to have the Renaissance, the whole summit is really going to be big. Last year we did over 500 people there, so we're going to keep building momentum around that. So we need a firm, big time. All the people y'all get for the job fair, we need that. I'm going to talk to you about it. Oh, but one other quick announcement that we're going to do, what we need a firm. We that day are asking for 300 fathers in our community to take a resolution, a pledge with us. How many of y'all seen the movie Courage? Y'all seen it? And y'all seen how the fathers took the pledge around how they're going to be more engaged in their children's life. The father, well, Pastor, we calling on y'all, right? We calling on our pastors, our churches, our community leaders. Fathers are short. So what will happen when those 3,000 plus children and all those other folks see men taking pledges in? We're creating an app for that we can support each other in different initiatives. How we show up at Impact, how we show up in Raleigh, in these different communities and help these do these initiatives, and they see us. And so that's one thing we're going to announce there. There's some other powerful stuff that's going to be announced there that day. Other than y'all can see us, the county, beat the city of Memphis in the celebrity basketball game. It's going to be big and fireworks at the end of the night. So I'm excited about that. That's my bank over there. My banker, y'all got anything to say?
Hey everyone, how y'all doing today?
You got anything?
Not at the moment, no sir.
Anytime you want to give away money, you're welcome to.
Yeah,
Thank you. Great bank. I love them. I just can't lie. I know it's some other great bank. Come on up here.
Hi everyone, I'm Mireya Cortez, a connector for the What's Right with Raleigh area. When you point, you can use it. All right, What's Right with Raleigh. So I've been sharing the code, the QR code for the survey, the community survey. If you live or you have your church or your business in the Raleigh area, we really need your voices. We're really low on the number of people that are taking our survey. It's important because these are the reports that we're sending to our elected officials about what the community is saying about their community. So you can take it even if you don't live in Raleigh. You're gonna answer questions based on where you live, but specifically, I'm gonna come to as many events as humanly possible, especially in the Raleigh area. So thank you, I'm gonna pass this around or leave it up at the front so you can take it.
And churches, if we can get that, and let's stand it out because that is important. Again, it helps our argument, but if I'm saying that this is a need in our community, I need to have the data to show them, right?
Yes.
You can't just emotionally, China just emotional, right?
Yes, and the annual report,
Let's have the data. Let's have the
the
data.
annual report for the connector program is gonna be released soon, so digitally you'll receive it and it'll be available online as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Pastor, come on up. Listen, now this is the only pastor to keep me up past midnight and get me back the next morning.
Thank you, Commissioner, everybody. I want to announce, we've been working on it, myself, weather page with 70, my ministry partner. We're opening up on April 29th, a thing called Well Center. And so every Wednesday, we have been going into tent cities, we've been going into the the waste houses and all this stuff, feeding folks, sharing Christ. We've been putting them in housing and all that type of stuff. So we bring it all together. We developed one of the areas in the church, our old nursery, we turned into a dwell center. So like, you know, people that are homeless and stuff like that, that need those services. So what we're doing, when they come in, they'll get a debit card. And when they get that debit card, we got a grocery store, we got a clothes closet, and we got a laundromat already ready. And so when they come in, I'll say, okay, man, you go dust about the gym, and man, you go to the parenting class or the drug class, and they'll get points on their card. They'll get points on their card, and once they get the points on their debit card, then they can come shop, and we try to put them back into life. Yeah. And so we already have connections where we put them in instant housing, we put them in Salvation Army to get detox and drug addiction, and we got partnership with Warrior Center. So all that stuff is gonna happen, and we're trying to clean up Raleigh with the homeless. And so y'all pray for us, and we need volunteers. It's gonna be every Wednesday, 9 to noon. Every Wednesday, 9 to noon. They're gonna have a hot meal, we're gonna have a movie, we got a Malcolm in the church. So we're gonna be doing all of that on those Wednesdays. So if y'all are able to volunteer sometime, and send a volunteer, I would appreciate it. Thank you. It's gonna launch April 29th.
And so I know like some of the work we've been doing with the Joshua Project has been going intentionally into those areas as well. So I'm gonna make sure, Pastor, that they are connected to y'all so we can refer people to there as well. Pastor, look, the others, you got something crazy, you've been doing it big out there. You're the only one we'll let from Fraser say, no, I've got Fraser myself now. I take that back.
We want to give some time to the presentation. Like I just mentioned about the HVAC and the electrician school. We've got in the church, we've got a HVAC school, electrician school, accredited, where the individuals get their certification right on the spot after they complete the class of the training. And then we're getting ready to start a CNA class. Right there, certified. An AI class. Got all that right in the church. And all the funding is provided by the American Johnson.
Yes.
They pay for it. And so if you have individuals who are, I think 18 through 24, 16 through 24, that's Barnett. 16 through 24, they not only pay for their tuition, but they give them a stipend. For going and just think, you know, HVAC, electrician, plumbing, and CNA, you're talking about
automatic.
Automatic. So
that's one thing for sure. Hey, I can't go up there and change these light bulbs.
Pastor, what is the length? What's the length of the course? How long?
I think the classes are they're 8 weeks. 8 weeks, right?
And the beautiful thing about that, Pastor, July the 1st, if those who don't know about the Pell Grant from the federal level, they are now shortening the time that you have to go to school for a Pell Grant. You have to go like 2 years of school. They can do it in 8, 9 weeks and go entry level and it's paid for. So like my 12 people is going to CT that.
When you start?
They can go through the 8 weeks, get their license, and they Pell Grant paid for it. First, everybody has to come out of pocket $1,700 to do that. Now the Pell Grant paid for it. July the 1st, it kicks off. So keep your people informed about that opportunity that's there. So
let me give everybody a phone number to call.
You just took 10 more minutes, Pastor. See, when the preacher said I won't take the time.
But everybody's asking for a phone number. 901-691-8204. And that's Ed Yark. He's the CEO of TCI. And the classes are already going on right now. Okay.
Good deal. Good deal. All right, without further ado, I know there's other things that we can talk about. I think we got it all out right now. We'll make sure it is. Oh, you got an announcement.
Very briefly.
Yes, say what you got. Because she got flyers, so she gonna
I
bring
got
them back.
flyers up front, but most people know me in the room with West Tennessee Legal Services. We do pro bono law work. The reason that I'm here today is because one of the housing legal attorneys is looking to partner with the Black church here in Shelby County to discuss what's going on in housing. So I knew I wanted to be here. And I just wanna say briefly, I am amazed at the work that you all are doing. Sometimes it makes me so emotional because I just wanna cry. Y'all are doing such a great work at Impact as well as Place. I wanted to figure out how we can get young people in these meetings and not just stakeholders, because they don't know what's going on, they don't see it. But if you guys are willing to sit down at the table with West Tennessee Housing Attorney team, that's something they wanna work on as soon as possible.
Yeah, so this summer, you're gonna see a lot of young people. They're gonna be in these camps, they're gonna be there at these meetings, we're gonna be there. We were actually supposed to be at the school last month, and then we had to redirect it. But we taking it to the schools as well. But let me say something why she's so emotional though. She want a 75-inch TV. A 75-inch.
And then he told me I can't take it to the Soda County, so you can read the rules.
Right. I would most call out anyway. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna again call out now, Rick, she can introduce her staff, all the great things that's going on here at Youth and Family Resource Center. I just say this is that this is one of the initiatives from day one that I was fighting for in this community before it even got here. A lot of the work that we were doing with niggas, we were focusing on how do we deter young people from going into the criminal justice system, give them the supports that they need, because we know that it is needed. It's not saying that people shouldn't be held accountable for the penalties and crimes that they do, but when we know as root cause issues that we're not addressing, what can we do that at? And this center has been one of those for us that we're to come on up.
For us as a staff, to hear all of these great programs, because I know Victoria was sitting there thinking, all right, 16 to 24, we got young people, we got parents, we got older siblings and all that kind of stuff that we want to send to your programs. So this is great. So my name is Amy Kell. I'm the director here at the AC Wharton Youth and Family Resource Center, and you're going to meet two of my staff. They're going to talk to you, but if you look over there, you're going to see others of my staff. And I think in Shelby County government, we have the best staff here, but I am probably biased. All right, so first off, I just want to tell you what we do and kind of give you our elevator pitch. There we go. All right, let's technical difficulties. So basically what we are, we're part of Shelby County government, and we are here for any young person aged 10 to 17. In Shelby County. And what we like to say out and about is that if a parent has a worry or concern about their young person between the ages of 10 to 17, call us, come to us. What our whole goal is, the next one, our whole goal is connecting you to community, not systems. So we are an early prevention and early intervention program that we collaborate with the partners in our community and get our young people back out into their zip codes, as we see all the zip codes in Shelby County. But we want their services to be in their zip code where they live, so that way they're connected and rooted back in their community and getting support from their community. And so that is our major goal. So we want our families to thrive, and we want them to see these opportunities that you all have and to be able to tap in as well. So that being said, we take referrals from anybody in Shelby County. But when we look, and this is kind of hard to see because of our beautiful windows, we get a glare on here. The bulk of our referrals, about 95%, come from law enforcement or from juvenile court. And then the rest would be parents, schools, and other community agencies. So what that means is a young person, could be active out in the community, and they could have, it's a list of about 14 low-level charges that automatically set someone to be able to come to the YFRC to take care of that juvenile summons. So it could be anything from curfew to vandalism to a simple assault, things of that nature. So we want young people who maybe had a bad day, made a poor decision on that particular day, to have the chance to come here and get connected to services. I think if you look around this building, you probably felt pretty maybe impressed by how it looks. I've been a social worker for 25 plus years, and I've never worked anywhere that looks near this beautiful. And that is really, it's intentional, because we want our families to come here, we want them to loved, we want them to feel supported, and we don't want them to feel scared that they need to engage with services or that we want them to engage with services. The best thing, the best thing about us is, I think, a breaking point, is we say we'll reach out when MPD or juvenile court or a parent puts in a referral for us, we say we're gonna reach out in 24 to 48 hours. We're reaching out in 0.38 days, which means Krishana and Ms. Brown over there, that means that these referrals are coming in within hours. They're reaching out to the parent and saying, hey, you have this opportunity. Would you like to come in here and take care of that summons and get connected to services? Which in juvenile justice and that practice is best practice to, as soon as a young person gets in trouble, for them to connect that to somebody wanting to guide and support them. When they languish and they have weeks and weeks and weeks before we see them, it's hard for them at that age to like connect what I did 3 weeks ago with what I'm doing today. And so this is what's really great with our wonderful partnership with MPD. We're seeing these young people really quickly and we're able to serve them really quickly. So I kind of went over this. So our referral trends, 95% are coming from MPD and juvenile court. These are our top charges that we see. And you know, it's a simple assault's our biggest one. These are our referrals by MPD precincts, so in FY25. So, and this doesn't mean this is a hot spot where the crime's happening. It means that this is where we have really strong police relationships. And as you can see, Austin P is our #1, which means we have a really great relationship with Austin P, and they know, all of those officers know, I encounter a young person, they've done one of those 14 things, or I encounter a young person, they haven't done anything wrong, but I can tell that family needs support. Let me refer them over to the YFRC. So we keep hoping our numbers keep expanding and that every precinct feels as confident in what we can do with them as Austin P does right now. Again, these are our zip codes where our referrals, kind of the hot map where we're getting our referrals from. Okay, this is an outdated slide, which I'm happy to say it's updated. So we are now over 1,530 unique youth served. So that's a huge stat that we're excited about because we were a team of 7, 8 people. So we're a small team, but I think we're doing really mighty work, which to me speaks volumes. And I have two youth advocates, buddy. Okay, so those are 2 of the people that will see the young people when they come in here, meet them where they're at, and really get to the root problem of what's going on, which Victoria is going to talk a little bit more about. Yep, handing it over to him.
So giving y'all a brief overview of like what we do. Referral comes in, the community, school, parent, self, our intake specialist then contacts the parent, figures out what's going on. Then we do a screening, which is the CANS assessment. That's a child adolescent needs and strengths assessment, figuring out what's going on in the home, the school, and the community, assessing the behaviors and emotional attributes that's going on with the youth. We also do the ACEs trauma scale, and we also do suicide severity level. From there, one of our youth advocates then do an action plan. In the action plan, we try to highlight the strengths of their youth, try to highlight the needs that we talked about in the sessions, and then we talk about some referrals that based on the session, the youth advocate and the youth come up with. And then from there, depending on how dire the situation may be, we might do a little case management. And the case management is not intensive, so it's more like a logic here. Call, check in, hey, did that referral work for you? If not, let's go back to the drawing board, let's figure out what we can do and figure out how we can help serve the youth and family. And then close the case. So, diving a little deep, let's say you guys are you, she's Jay, 14 years old. She might have received a summons from Tillman for shoplifting. When we contact her, we figure out what's going on. She meets with the youth advocate, and they figure out that Jay has major problems. They're living in the car, they have a home. We don't really ask about why they shoplifting. We just don't care. We figure out the mental health aspect of what's going on with their youth. And so here on the left side, you'll see we do CANS session. It's very brief, so we try to make it like conversation. Try to figure out, hey, what's going on? Hey, do you have a lot of friends? How you doing in school? What's some things you like to do? So we try to figure those aspects out. And so from there, the advocate would then make an action plan. From here, we figured out Jay is doing well in school. She makes A's and B's. She has a lot of friends. She's very active and engaged in her school. She loves to sing, she loves to draw. She's very animated. She's very creative. But some of the needs we discussed was the families in need of housing assistance. And the youth very dysregulated. She struggles to regulate her emotions. And so from there, the youth advocate will immediately display director to the food pantry up here. We'll see that later, as well as the clothing closet. We'll go into our emergency budget, which will help with the first and last month rent, and we'll partner with the CSA housing listing that we have with private landlords and affordable housing landlords. And then we'll connect it with Ethernet, which Cashier will then talk about. And then this is our main services that we see. So of course, mental health is the top tier that we're seeing you need help with, as well as baseline programs, job placement, community care, as well as material support, so food assistance, housing support, educational support, other support like substance abuse and performing arts. And then at the end of each of our sessions, we give a brief survey as well as we give them a brief survey as well as a $10 gift card to Kroger or Walmart, just an incentive for them to do that survey. It's like 5 questions, nothing directive or far for them to understand. And then we were happy to say that 90% of our youth said the staff making them feel welcome. So another outside of the building, if y'all know the whole Raleigh Library looks old, when you come in, it's green, blue, it's comfortable. I'll let y'all see the assembly rooms after this. It looks like a living room, it looks like a living space. Somebody can lay down and take a nap. Immediately gotta do sometimes.
I just lunch break.
On my lunch break. Because it's just that comfortable, just make you feel at home. And so this is some of the reports that we have from you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I will make this quick just so I can stay on time. One of the things that Tario mentioned is a program called Youth. So I'm the youth mental health coordinator, so I assist the program that offers free therapy to young people. So I don't know how many of you all are familiar, but there is a program that offers free therapy to young people who live in Shelby County between the ages of 13 and 18. A couple of the unique things about the program is that one, that it's free. So when I speak to people or parents or young people, I say like it's free, like no kidding. I'm not asking for insurance, I'm not asking for a social security number, I'm not asking to verify anything, but that you live in Shelby County and that you are between the ages of 13 and 18. Another unique thing is that the young person is able to select their own therapists. We have about 22 to 23 therapists right now in our pool that are all local providers. So we know, and young people have told us specifically, I want to make sure that the person that I'm talking to feels like a good fit for me. I would prefer not to talk to a random person. And I think as adults, we would probably say the same thing too. So what's your energy like? What's your personality? Are you upbeat or are you silly? Like what is it about you? So they told us we don't really care about the news. So they don't really care what the licensure is that the therapist has, but they want to know that that person is someone they will feel comfortable talking to for sessions. So like I said, 12 free sessions and they get to pick their provider. And that's not to do in person or virtual. We are aware that transportation can be a barrier for some of our young people and our families. So virtual is always an option. Most of our providers do have their own space, so they're able to meet in the office if they would like to. But if it presents as an issue to meet in person, they can do virtual. That's something that any young person can do. One of the things that was on the previous slide, which is probably on here, that 73% of our young people that we've served is their first time in therapy. So we really want to make sure that they're having a really good experience. We know that most of the time we hear about different things that we're more likely to engage when it's word of mouth. So if you have a good experience with therapy, I'm going to tell Amy that I had a really good experience and I really like my therapist. And she might be more likely to engage. We held over 2,537 sessions. We're really proud of that. We served 569 young people. And one of the things that I would say I'm most proud of, we do ask young people to take a survey after they complete these sessions. It says 96% of our young people said they would seek therapy again if they felt like they needed to. And that lets me know that they've had a good experience if they wanted to engage again. This talks a little bit about the zip codes that we reach and like how many community partners that we have. We do have the options to be able to offer group therapy. So if there is a organization that serves young people and they are expressing that they see a common theme or thread of a need, like, hey, a lot of our young people are struggling with grief or emotional regulation, or just wanting somebody to talk to, or maybe it's how they view themselves, identity, we are able to curate and like create a group to come to those young people. And we find that is most successful because those young people are familiar with the space. They maybe already have some type of connection with the people that they're around, and they also feel comfortable at their place. So that has been most helpful when it comes to like having a set of people. Yeah, so the last thing I have some flyers up front if anyone wants to take. What I always tell is even if you don't have young people who are between the age range yourself, if you have people that you go to church with, you have nieces or nephews, cousins, anyone who has expressed or maybe hasn't expressed, because sometimes young people will not tell us that they're interested in therapy. This is just a good resource to have on hand if you encounter someone who says they're looking for services. The young person can scan the QR code and go to the website. They can kind of scroll through the therapist options. Each of them will have a bio and a video so they can kind of get a feel for the person. And then they fill out the registration form. It takes about 5 or 6 minutes. We're only asking the information that we need to know. We know how filling out forms can be. Like, you get to the third page, you're like, I don't want to do this. So we intentionally make sure that we're only asking the things we need to know to make sure we can get them connected. A couple of things I'll just add really quickly. Every young person gets the opportunity to do a consultation, which we think is really important, which means they get to basically interview or have a conversation with their therapist before they start those sessions. So I'm going to be sure that you're a good fit for me before I start my session. So they get to have a conversation with their person to ask questions, so therapists can ask questions. And we'll tell them if that person is not a good fit, you come back to us and say, hey, I talked to him or her, they were nice, but I don't think it's a good fit for me. And they can choose their second option. They can try this person, and that doesn't count as a session. So we really want to make sure that we're empowering young people that they have the choice to choose who they want to talk to, and really have therapy their way, which is one of the things we say. So if you have any questions at the end, feel free to let me know. Like I said, I have plenty of flyers. I always try to keep one on me because I might be in the grocery store or anywhere, and somebody might say that they have been looking for services or they're on a wait list. And I will say we are able to get young people connected in a matter of about 2 weeks. And a lot of it is also just dependent upon how responsive the young person is to us. So we might reach out and it might take them a while to text us back or call us back. But as soon as they're able to respond to us, we get them connected as quickly as we can. Thank you.
Just asking, because we collaborate with the students at Craig Middle, so I'm just wondering if you all have reached out to the schools in the area just to let them know that we provide these services.
Yeah, so we do have relationships with some schools. I would say most of my outreach is typically at high schools because 13 is typically just 8th grade. But any school or if anybody wants to share or has a connection to a school counselor or someone that I can connect to, I would love to share more about the program.
I have a question as well. I know you mentioned that you work with that age group, but do you have any referral processes for children that's younger than 13? Because I'm finding that parents are reaching out about children of their age to experience like traumatic events, gun violence and stuff like that. So do you have any referrals or anybody that you can?
So sometimes we will have people reach out to us via email and say, hey, my young person is not in the age range. Can you help me connect to someone who does serve a young person? And we'll do our best to try to find someone who takes their insurance and has availability, which sometimes it just depends. We know that can, for a lot of people, even when you have insurance, it can be a barrier to find someone who does take your insurance. But we do our best to try to find someone who can accommodate you.
Thank you for the presentation. I learned a lot today that I did not know that was available. I work with a fathering program, parenting program. What role do parents play in this process? And what's the level of responsibility or accountability that's associated with it?
So a couple of things on the registration form that we asked. One, that we asked who was filling out the form. So one option is just a young person. Maybe I heard about it at schools, did an internet search, or it says a young person and an adult did it together, or an adult is filling out the form for their young person on behalf of their young person. We also asked on there, does your parent know that you're completing this form? Because we also know that some young people are reaching out for services and their parent doesn't know, and maybe they don't want them to know that they're interested in services for a variety of different reasons. So we handle that very delicately. If a young person is under the age of 16, we have to reach out to the parent for consent. So if a young person fills out the form and says, my parent doesn't know, there's a particular, not finesse, but some prep that needs to go into before I call a parent for a young person who's interested in services if the parent doesn't know. If the parent is aware, we do ask our therapists just generally that they need to bring in a parent at about a halfway mark for a session together. But the premise or the idea is that the young person is able to engage and sign up for the services on their own. A lot of our young people say that parents do know that they're filling out the form and are aware, but we also know that how young people feel about therapy may be different than their parents.
Right.
So we also try to make sure we handle it well.
I'm saying, sorry, just to his question though, even with the Youth and Family Center, what are other wraparound supports and services that's offered to the parents as y'all walk with the child?
So we, like Tario said with his situation, we're also talking to the parents. So he meets with he or his youth advocates meet with the youth alone and the parent alone to hear both perspectives and to hear what's happening. And we get a lot of parents who will talk about their own mental health needs that are unmet, maybe traumas they have experienced, maybe struggles they're having with employment or relationships or things like that. And so while our focus is the young person, we know there is no change that can happen in a family unless you are looking at that entire family. So Tario and his youth advocates do a really nice job of partnering, reaching out, helping that adult make those connections through the different services that they need. And one thing that I think has been really great for us is we have, to me, it shows a really big impact, is the family will come because they think they're taking care of the summons, they leave, but they have the impression of how they were treated here and the resources we had. And 6 months, a year later, they called and they say, hey, I'm now struggling with this, is there any way y'all can help me with that? And so that tells us we're doing something right, I think, that we're getting that connection. So yeah, I have dreams of having a parent support specialist on hand because I feel like our parents, they need someone to help them walk through everything. So 100%.
Let's get it in the budget. Let's make it happen.
We're going to be able to let you take a little tour. I just, at that front table, like Cache said, I've got some of her flyers for Youth Connect, which has a QR code. I have our flyers that have a QR code of a family or somebody would want to be referred. I also have these posters. So if you have a space that you are in, take a couple, hang them up, and because again, I would love if right now we're 95% that a young person has already had MPD or juvenile court, 5% other. I would like that 5% to get higher. That families are seeking services when they're just starting to get concerned, not after they've had some little issue with law enforcement.
And let me say to this too, one part, I will bring up, why this is important. So if you think about it, the state of Tennessee just was trying to pass a bill. History, thankful for Judge Sherman and others who got on it and lobbied behind the table. It was Senate Bill 1868. Y'all know about that one. Where in this state, they want to lock up a child, foster child, even without a criminal charge, put them at juvenile court. I said, sure. They're willing to pay $168 a day for the bed there to help them get connected to, then give resources to something like this. I appreciate Congressman Wharton, he's working with us even on this year, putting something in their corporations to keep this type of model, because all 9 police precincts say they want this in nature. We see in our criminals here, they know how it works. This is one of the biggest ones, but it's right here. So you got a parent in Westwood, which I think y'all get a lot from Trump and other communities, but now they got to try to come way over here, right, to get this. Right? This should be in the neighborhood. We're going to spend, so I was just doing a little calculation of 1,500 or so just there. Even if we went on an average of a 14-day stay in juvenile court till they get the process through on average, we spend about $3.5 million on that 14-day for those 1,500 people. We don't spend that here. It's our budget probably not even there. We can get that here. We can do this all over the county, right? And then you think about the impact that we have, and we won't be spending the money we got to spend back in juvenile court for that long process. Again, because it's about getting them at the root cause, helping them there, and to everyone here, this is important. Like I shared on Facebook and stuff, we got to share this information out. And I say this in just hard, and you helped me here. And I had this conversation with somebody close to me just this morning, who going there, we're in college, and they're going to the therapist, and she was like, I didn't really like the therapist. I said, what happened? What was the therapist do? She said, well, the 2 times I went, she just wrote down. She wasn't talking to me. And I said, well, baby, I said, I just said to the child, I said, when I'm a physical doctor, I can go in and see what the problem is. And I can give you something for them. But if you ain't talking or letting it out, you can't get the diagnosis. We got to get our young people to talking. They ain't used to talking to nobody. They're keeping all of this built up into them till they ready to commit suicide, right? And that's where our connectors been working on some of that data around getting to the root cause of this thing, because we know where the answer is. But watch this here. If y'all don't know about this resource, then when I talk about this, it's foreign, right? But that's why having y'all here today and sharing this resource out, that's helping us advocate when it comes to budget at the city council, county commission level, that we need to invest in this resource, or we're gonna keep filling up our jails and juvenile court with individuals who can get the help that they need. Right. And going back to what you just said about the families is because it's taboo. It will happen, your stage. I know my sister, she do great work with domestic violence and know about these. And so we have to be intentional about how we break this cycle for our community and change the narrative. And the money is saved in this place. Now, I want to thank the city of Memphis. I know they may not be here, but they donated this library to us for $1 and allowing this, well, it wasn't fixed up like this. It wasn't fixed up nowhere like this. There's some money to get there, but for the county, even proud to me getting on here to say that we needed to make this happen. And it's for us, like, how do we keep sustaining this? How do we put more money? And I know that's going to be one of my fights, because we just had a youth summit, and y'all may see the news yesterday. Those youths is crying out for this. And a lot of them, like, when they found out about this, they were like, now we want to go back. How do y'all train us to be mental health navigators? That's part of, in my resolution, I'm putting in both the resolution, that they get trained to be mental health navigators, right? The peers talk to them. And when they talk to them, who talk to her, they're going to want to now come over and talk to them, right? So we want to be strategic about that. We got to fight for more resources to go into this. But we need this data. We need your voices, and we need to be a part of this.
Can you share two things? One about the language access, the partnerships you're creating, and green law.
Yeah, oh yes, perfect. So green law, like Commissioner Caswell said, Raleigh is not central to a lot of the zip codes we're getting referrals from, and so that makes it tricky. So right now, we have another partnership with the city of Memphis at the Green Law Community Center. So we've got the zip codes that are closest to Green Law. We head over to Green Law, we've got a space there. Friday, I'm touring the space, that's our deputy director, Megan Waltley, and on Friday, we're gonna tour a space at Mullen Station. So hopefully some of our youth that are coming from further out in the county, some of the other municipalities, that might be a better location. So that's the other piece, how can we keep getting further and further into different spaces. And then as far as language access, the ability to have families who are speaking Spanish. Unfortunately, we lost one of our really great people who is bilingual. And so we were able to really do a very great job with our families. We had our bilingual person. She moved on. She got graduated, moved on, and got another job. But we are able to use the language line. So we are able to still provide services. It hasn't posted yet, but I'm going to have another kind of intake position, and I'm hoping I find a bilingual.
Stop looking at me.
It makes it much more seamless when you don't have to do a language line call and you can talk to the person in their language. So, yeah, we got lots of hopes.
There's one question for the young lady. So, I know that you said when they're 13 or under 16 or whatever, you got to get permission from the parent. So how do you navigate when the parent is the aggressor and you talk to them about it?
Case by case. I typically, either me or my colleague handle a lot of those. I mean, the young person gets to fill in the reason that they are interested in therapy. And sometimes the part of it can be like, hey, me and mom aren't getting along, or maybe her partner, whatever it is. So we review what the submission says in regards to what the young person is interested in. And then we take some time, to handle that situation diligently, listen to what the parent is saying, explain what therapy is, what that model looks like. But some people generally know what therapy is, but doesn't know like what that practice actually looks like. So this is what a session entails. This is what the therapist is responsible for doing. And then typically, most of the time, once we explain and walk it out, the parent is okay with the young person receiving services at that point. I have not had an encounter where a parent has said, in my young person, I'm not giving them permission to participate.
So y'all, we got to get attention about this work. Okay, go ahead.
We also have a new children's wellness crisis center.
Oh, yeah.
That's opening up. Yes, that's opening up on May 12th, age 4 to 17.
What is that again?
Children and youth Crisis Center.
Okay.
Where is
On
that
the
going
one
to be?
It's right off Broad Street. It's right next to the Adult Crisis Center, Summer, Broad.
Okay, yeah. Behavioral.
But then, let's say something real quick about that, if you can, because they just opened up the adult, and they're doing the youth center there, so if you can just talk about Lions, because the Lions has been a great partner as well.
We last year, 1 year, we just opened up the children, the Adult Crisis Center, and on May the 12th, we're having a grand opening for our Children and Youth Crisis Center, ages 4 to 17.
Wow.
We have 15 beds, and we'll be serving all of Shelby County in terms of crisis. Instead of now, a lot of times our kids, when they're either in the hospital, they spend days in the hospital, now they'll be able to go to the crisis center versus them they'll be in the ER rooms days, just trying to receive service.
So what's the criteria for someone 4 years old? I mean, what are you seeing at 4 years old?
You would be surprised. Lots of, there are a lot of behavior problems. And I mean, just from, 4 years old, we're gonna take them from 4 years to age 17.
And then I know, Kai, I want to say something real quick, because I want everybody to tour, because I know y'all got to get away from here, y'all want to see some of the spaces here. But I was just, the training I did for Portland the other day, it showed one of the highest expulsions, I thought would have been Miller High School. It was pre-K.
Yeah.
Kindergarten.
Yes.
The teachers, they sending them home.
Yes, they can't handle them.
Yeah.
I mean, and there are a lot of other emotional things that, diagnosis and things like that.
Yeah, that's going there.
Now, I just had a question about recidivism, or how frequently you may see someone coming back.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a dual-edged sword. You did such a great job that they don't come back, but they love you so well that they may want to come back because there's another issue. So I'm just curious about the
They
return.
can always come back.
Yeah.
They can always come back. We, under our MOU with LED, we can take a young person back 3 times with one of those low-level offenses, and then we refer on to juvenile court. Happily, we have a really great relationship with juvenile court, and so if they deem that they don't child, that young person should be able to come back to us again, we'll take them back in. Recidivism, so we have done that. We run the young people who come through here, have they had another more serious charge? And I don't wanna say it wrong, but we're hovering right around only 10% of our young people who've ever come through here have had another touch. That is a more serious charge than we can have. But that is really hard data to come by, and we worry sometimes because it has to be done by hand. So that's not a publishable thing. But we feel really good about the fact that the bulk of the young people who come through here, it's a one-time. It's a one-time thing that they've had an issue, a problem, and that's what we firmly believe. Most of our young people just need another chance. They just need another time.
And in closing, I think it's so important that that space, I call, we do a lot of the ACES training. I often talk about if a person, I know Pastor Elder's gone, who else in here went through the military, right? Boot camp, so you was trained to go to war. And if something happened to you right now, you come up here and slap direct at you. Not me. We got a Shelby County Veteran Court. They're gonna give her wraparound services, support, everything. A young person, we bound them over to the big jail. No services, no support. Make it make sense. And we know they've been trained because we look at the news, we look at the data, we can see that it's been happening in their family, in their neighborhood. For generations, they've been trained for war. And that's what we're seeing. So we want to break that cycle. So again, thank you all for coming out. Go ahead.
Hello everyone, Tawana with United Way. I think most of you all are here partners with us in driving the dream. But I was curious, and I'm not sure, forgive me for saying this, the ones that, the 95% that you're saying from NPD court, are those cases mandatory?
That was my question. From MPD, it's voluntary. If they choose not to come, we then have to, and this is what we tell the parents when we call on the phones, we have a really good kind of incentive for them to come. If you don't come, we're gonna send this on to juvenile court, and then juvenile court will make their next decision what's gonna happen. And the same thing, we report back to juvenile court weekly. These are the young people you've sent us, we were not able to get hold of them, or if they didn't show, or whatever the piece is at. We're at about a 63% show rate, which doesn't sound great, like when you think of gradings in school, it sounds like a D, but for what we are as an assessment center, most assessment centers cover right around 48-49%, so we're well above that, which tells me families in Shelby County want services, they want help, they want this kind of service, they feel it's valuable, so we feel good about that, but we're always working.
But it goes back to 63%. If they in Westwood, I hate coming
Yeah,
over here.
that's hard.
You know, we gotta think about people, transportation. We got to get this closer within these communities. And they can be married some way in other communities. I don't know whether it's with the police station, with a library, what that can look like for the future for y'all. But we got to be strategic in what that can become. We may not be blessed to get more library. Again, thank you all for coming today. If y'all want to take a tour, get with Director, didn't say your whole name, sorry. I'm bad on that.
Amy Bell.
Yeah. So if y'all get with the director and her staff, and please see what the resource we got here so y'all can tell somebody to tell somebody. Thank y'all. See you in 2 weeks. We'll be at the Next Church in Embassy of Faith. What's the address?
3845 Raleigh Road.
At that meeting, we're gonna have a meet and greet with elected officials. Again, that'll be 2 days before early voting ends, so just not no form. Just come out, let's talk, let's meet them, and then the next day we're gonna have a big rally and drive to the polls and let's light up the polls.
By the way, if anybody play golf, we're doing a golf tournament next Friday, the Ricky Floyd Memorial Golf Tournament.